I don't watch comedies with my wife. She didn't really even watch Jokers. She didn't really vibe with it. Like she was like, I see you in real life. You're funny. She's like, when you're doing that stuff, she didn't, because of the embarrassment stuff.
So Sal Vulcano finally said something that has fans spiraling, and it might just be about Joe Gatto's rumored affair. Yeah, that rumor. The one nobody thought they'd ever address? Well, Sal might have just cracked the door open. And now people are analyzing every word like it's a hidden message. And honestly, once you hear what he said, it's kind of hard not to see it as a shot at Joe. This isn't just internet gossip. We're talking years of silence, weird social media moves, cryptic podcast moments. Oh, and a possible friendship fallout between two of TV's most iconic pranksters.
And whatnot, but it's funny because we don't even really agree much on comedies, but we have connected on horrors, and I don't know what that says about us.
That's very interesting.
I wasn't big into horror, and then she was, and she opened my eyes to the genre. I was like, that's weird that we enjoy horror together.
We dug through all of it, and trust me, you don't want to miss what we found. Let's get into it. All right, let's rewind just a little so we're all on the same page. Impractical Jokers wasn't just another reality comedy show. It was lightning in a bottle. 4 lifelong friends from Staten Island, Joe Gatto, Sal Vulcano, Brian Q. Quinn, and James Murray, pulling ridiculous pranks on each other while trying not to lose it in public. That's it.
Are they still friends? And that's all that stuff. It's like, we're just not friends from work anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. I think people forget that you were friends for like 2 decades before the show.
I know, 32 years I know these guys, which is longer than most marriages in America. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's insane.
Simple concept, but the chemistry? Unmatched. These guys were real friends, and that's what made it work. Now, Joe and Sal, they were the heart of the chaos. Joe was the loud, fearless wild card. He'd do anything for a laugh. And Sal? He was the expressive one. The guy who laughed so hard he cried. Their dynamic was like watching 2 brothers constantly roast each other but still have each other's backs every second.
Congrats, man. You got a new special out.
A new special out, yeah.
Your first special.
First special.
Wow.
Messing with people, yeah. It's really excited about it. It's out on YouTube.
Did some of the other Jokers come out?
They came to the taping. Sal came to the late taping, I think. And then I was working that weekend, and then Q came out and stuff.
So when Joe suddenly announced he was leaving the show at the end of 2021, fans were blindsided. His official statement said he was stepping away to focus on co-parenting his kids after splitting with his wife, Bessie. Respectable reason, for sure. It felt honest, mature. But fans couldn't shake the feeling that something else was going on. The timing felt off. The energy between the guys felt different in those last few episodes. It was like someone pulled the plug but didn't explain why.
Yeah, it's good. They come and see me. I see them when they're on the road. It's fun. We try to give each other the support. You know how it is.
Do you still do the touring show with them or no?
No.
Right.
No. So I did. They just wrapped up their last tour, and I came out on stage there. And then when they did Radio City, I popped out.
And you know how the internet is. The second there's a gap in the story, people fill it. Fast. Because let's be real, when someone as central to the show as Joe suddenly dips out with barely a peep from the rest of the crew, it raises questions. And the deeper fans looked, the more things started to look.
But everybody always asks, you still friends? I always tell people, no, I hate those guys. Like, I'll just say stuff to mess with people. People are like, do you like them? I'm like, no, we don't talk anymore.
A little suspicious. Now this is where things really start to get messy. Not long after Joe's exit, whispers started popping up online. It started small, some vague Reddit threads here and there, a few anonymous Twitter accounts hinting that Joe's reason for leaving wasn't just about family. And then, boom, a blind item drops on a gossip blog, suggesting a well-known TV personality had quietly stepped away from the spotlight due to a behind-the-scenes affair.
I was saying for a while that Sal had slept with my wife. That's why I left. It was so fun. And he's like, dude, you gotta stop saying that. Someone's gonna believe you. Yeah, but it's good. We're still boys.
And people immediately started connecting the dots. According to fan theories, Joe had allegedly been involved in an affair during the tail end of Impractical Joker's run. Some speculated it wasn't just any random fling. It may have involved someone tied to the show or its production. Nothing confirmed, no names, no receipts. But the rumor spread like wildfire. One Reddit post even claimed the timing lined up too perfectly. Joe's exit, his divorce, the total radio silence from the other Jokers. It didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like a cleanup.
Joe is not going to be on the show anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
For now, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you worried about not having Joe on there?
You know, I was, because he's just...
He's one of a kind.
He's one of a kind,
All you
and
guys
he's
are.
the funniest dude in the world.
And then the TikTok detectives got involved. You already know what happens when TikTok latches onto a theory. Suddenly, you had people pulling up old interviews, comparing body language, analyzing final season bloopers like it was a true crime doc. Someone slowed down a meet and greet clip and pointed out how Sal didn't make eye contact with Joe the entire time. Another user pulled up a group photo from 2021 and zoomed in to show how Joe stood slightly off from the rest of the group. A little much? Maybe. But also, kind of compelling.
And then but it's like you have a recipe that's working, and then if you remove a main ingredient, so we didn't know what to expect, so nothing felt foreign, because I've been out there with just me and him. I've been out there with you, just me, and I've been out there alone, just me.
And while Joe has never publicly addressed these allegations, not once, fans felt like something had cracked. Like there was more to the story than just a family-focused decision. And if that's true, it might explain why Sal, who's always been pretty ride or die for his friends, was so quiet. Okay, so here's where things get oddly quiet. Joe announces he's leaving the show. Fans are shocked. Media outlets are scrambling to report it. The internet's lighting up with theories. And Sal? Radio silence. No Instagram story, no tweet, no heartfelt podcast moment.
So in that respect, it didn't feel like completely foreign. And then we were so focused on getting the new formula to work, and then getting this energy from these people that came on as guests.
Nothing. Not even a simple wishing you the best brother kind of post.
We're going to get started.
And for Sal, that was weird.
Here, so we'll be
this is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve.
And,
he tears up during interviews. He posts random emotional captions about life and friendship. So the fact that his longtime best friend, the guy he built a whole career with, suddenly exits, and Sal doesn't say a word? Yeah. People noticed. At first, fans gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was too personal. Maybe he was respecting Joe's privacy. Totally fair. But as weeks turned into months, and that silence just dragged on, the vibe shifted. It didn't feel like privacy anymore. It felt like distance. Fans started piecing it together. The guys weren't tagging each other anymore. Sal stopped mentioning Joe on the podcast. During interviews, whenever the topic of Joe came up, it was like someone had hit the mute button. And for a group built on chemistry and chaos?
I'm so sorry I was at work and I didn't think that shit was gonna blow up. I've literally been posting about this shit for over a year. And I've been DMing celebrities, other people, like trying to get my story out there. And one goddamn little TikTok that follows this little trend about a celebrity, then it fucking blows up, and you guys don't believe me.
That silence was deafening. People started asking, did something happen between Sal and Joe behind the scenes? Was Sal hurt by how Joe left? Or was he just staying out of the spotlight while the drama unfolded? Whatever the reason, it was clear. Sal wasn't just staying quiet. He was staying away. And then, after months of nothing, Sal finally says something. It wasn't a big dramatic statement. It wasn't an Instagram apology or a tell-all interview. Nope. It happened on a random episode of his podcast, Hey Babe, in the middle of what seemed like a casual conversation about life, loyalty, and dealing with personal challenges. And then Sal drops this line. Some people walk away when things get hard. I'm not like that. Pause. Rewind. What? It was like time froze. The second he said it,
she says that she met Joe Gatto while he was performing in Milwaukee in September 2023. She first saw him at a restaurant with her sister and mother and asked to take a photo. Later that day, she messaged him on Instagram in hopes of receiving free tickets to his comedy show, and he ended up gifting her 2 meet and greet tickets after she bought tickets.
fans clipped it and blasted it all over Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere. the timing, the delivery, the energy behind those words. It didn't sound like a general statement, it sounded pointed. And the internet did what it does best: investigate. People started analyzing the episode frame by frame. Some noticed Sal kind of hesitated before saying it, like he was choosing his words very carefully. Others pointed out that he looked a little frustrated or distant afterward, like even he knew it was a loaded statement. To casual listeners, it probably flew under the radar. But for fans who had been following the whole Joe situation since day one, that one line felt like a window into how Sal really felt. He didn't name names, he didn't say Joe, but honestly, he didn't have to. Because sometimes it's not what you say, it's when you say it, and why you finally choose to speak. And for a guy who'd been silent for so long, that single sentence said a lot. All right, if the quote wasn't enough to get people talking, the receipts fans started digging up after that moment definitely were. First off, photos, or rather, the lack of them. Fans noticed that since Joe left Impractical Jokers in 2021, he and Sal haven't been spotted together publicly at all. Not on social media, not at events, not even in group throwbacks. And if you go back far enough, Joe used to be everywhere on Sal's feed. Birthdays, behind-the-scenes pics, those chaotic tour bus photos, gone. In fact, some fans are convinced the tension is deeper than we think, claiming Joe even went so far as to untag himself from older group photos on Instagram. That's not just putting space between you and your past. That's intentional. That's someone saying, I don't want to be associated with this anymore. And in the age of social media, that speaks volumes. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about the likes. Sal hasn't liked any of Joe's posts in well over a year. Not even the safe, wholesome, look at my kids, or check out this vacation kind of stuff. And Joe? Same exact story. No support, no likes, no comments, nothing on Sal's podcast promos, no interaction on group content, zilch. Now, this is a huge shift when you consider their history. These were guys who used to hype each other up over the most random things, like, bro, you posted a sandwich? Legendary. They were all over each other's pages with inside jokes and bro love. That kind of bond doesn't just disappear, unless something seriously went down. And then there's the group content, or rather, Joe's glaring absence from it. Since his departure, the remaining 3 Jokers, Sal, Q, and Murr, have kept the show going. They've posted tons of behind-the-scenes footage, done interviews, press runs, and kept up the brotherly vibe for the fans. But if you scroll through it all, one face is consistently missing. Joe's. No guest appearances, no surprise cameos, not even a friendly shout-out. It's like he's been erased from the narrative entirely. And for someone who was such a core part of the group's dynamic, that's
we're going to get started.
Telling.
We have several groups here,
so the
we'll be
question
calling
is,
names out individually,
was this a clean,
and, when you give
mutual
your name,
split? Or is there way more brewing under the surface than we've been led to believe? You already know. Even their body language in older clips has been re-examined. Fans pointed out that in the last season before Joe left, there were fewer one-on-one bits between him and Sal. They didn't stand as close. Their reactions to each other's punishments seemed off. Subtle stuff, but in hindsight, it kinda sticks out. Now, none of this is proof of anything. But if you believe that silence speaks volumes, then this is screaming. Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, all right, maybe there's drama, but why does this hit so hard? It's because Impractical Jokers wasn't just a TV show, it was comfort. It was reliable. It was the thing you could throw on after a bad day and know you were going to laugh. For over a decade, fans tuned in not just for the pranks, but for the friendship. That was the core. The chemistry between Joe, Sal, Q, and Murr wasn't scripted. It was real. And you could feel that. Watching them mess with each other, make each other cry laugh, or team up for the dumbest punishments, it didn't feel like reality TV. It felt like watching your own group of friends hang out and do stupid things, except funnier and with better camera angles. You didn't just laugh with them, You trusted their bond. They were your comfort crew. And in a world where so many things feel fake or performative, that kind of authenticity is rare. It's why the show became more than just a comedy. It became personal for a lot of people. People grew up watching them. Families bonded over it. Friends quoted it together. For some, it was even a lifeline through rough patches in life. So when that dynamic starts to crack, even just a little, it hits different. It's not just, oh, Joe left the show. It's wait. Why did Joe leave? Did something happen? Was there drama? Was the friendship we all bought into for over a decade not as bulletproof as it seemed? And that's the part that really stings. Because once you start questioning the realness of something you held onto for so long, it shakes more than just your love for a show. It makes you reevaluate the trust you placed in those people. The belief that what you saw on screen mirrored what was happening off screen. So yeah, this isn't just about a prank show losing a cast member. This is about something that felt real suddenly looking a little fragile. And if something did go down, if there really was a falling out or a betrayal, that emotional investment fans had, it turns into heartbreak. And heartbreak, even over something like this, still hits hard. And if the rumors are true, if this really was about betrayal or a falling out over something serious like an affair, that changes everything. Because now it's not just a creative decision. It's heartbreak. It's disappointing. It's the realization that maybe the bond we all loved watching wasn't bulletproof after all. And yeah, sure, celebrities fall out all the time. But this one hurts. So, did Sal really just break his silence and throw a little shade at Joe Gatto? Was that one line on the podcast just a random comment? Or was it something deeper? Because let's be real, when you step back and look at everything, the years of silence, the social media cold shoulder, the rumors, the timing, it's hard not to feel like something went down behind the scenes. Now, is any of it confirmed? Nope. Not by Sal, not by Joe, not by anyone official. But let's be honest, when fans pick up on this many red flags, it's usually not for nothing. So here's where I want to hear from you. Do you think Sal was finally speaking his truth after all this time? That quote had some serious weight behind it. Was it just a random comment or a veiled dig at Joe? I mean, come on. The timing, the wording, it felt pointed, right? Or are we all just doing what the internet does best and reading way too deep into something that might be nothing more than a coincidence? I really want to hear what you think because this one is wild. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Don't hold back. You know this kind of drama always brings out the best hot takes, and I'll be right there with you, reading every single one. And hey, if you're into deep dives like this, you're in the right place. Don't even think about clicking away, because coming up next, we've got a full breakdown of the rumored tension between Tom Holland and Zendaya that has fans totally side-eyeing their relationship. Like, what is actually going on there? So make sure you're subscribed, smash that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you in the next one.